Dear friends of Zaytuna, Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah. We live in a deeply troubling time for the world, let alone for our community. The callous assault on civilians, even children, speaks to the urgency of spreading peace and pursuing justice. And justice can only be pursued in a time of peace. The Quran reminds us, every time they ignited the flames of war, God extinguished them. 564. Our Prophet, may peace and blessings be upon him, who has been maliciously slandered as a promoter of violence by the vilest of people, always sought peaceful means to end hostilities, the igniting of which he understood to be the role of Iblis in the world. Our Prophet, may peace and blessings be upon him, was a firefighter. He came to put out the fires of vice, greed, and iniquity. The Prophet, may peace and blessings be upon him, compromised for the sake of peace at Hudaybiyah and prayed for those who abused him at Taif. He called for patience and warned of extremism. Beware of extremism in your faith, for it destroyed those before you. More than ever, we need to follow his way and be firefighters and spreaders of light. The punishment of the afterlife is called the fire because those in it had made the world a place of fire, not a place of light, for themselves and for others. They tore down and destroyed instead of building. They never rose above the base desires of their egos and never struggled against their own worst tendencies. But Muslims who pursue the path of their Prophet, may peace and blessings be upon him, are builders. At Zaytuna College, we are attempting to build a testimony to our faith, establishing an institution that Muslims can be proud of and point to as something that embodies the highest principles of Islam: truth, goodness, and beauty. While the world edges towards self-destruction, and though the warmongers may seem to be prevailing, let us never forget that the world has always been an abode of strife, struggle, and tribulation, and that the end affair is for the pious ones. Quran 28:83. On that great and momentous final day, when God declares no oppression today, Quran 40:17, the oppressed will finally have their say. Even the dog will have his day. Every wronged animal gets retribution. No stone goes unturned. No crime remains unrevealed. And no debt is owed that does not come due. These are not the fanciful wishes of dreamers but are prophetic truths reiterated throughout millennia. Even as the end draws near and we find ourselves in the shade of the hour, we are commanded to continue planting if we have a seedling in our hands. Though we do not know how much longer this world will continue, the direction taken by its current leaders leaves many of us wondering if it will last the century. Nevertheless, we must continue to plant the seeds of goodness and virtue. We must not despair of a callous and uncaring multitude when we can see so many faces and places choosing to affirm the light and reject the darkness. We will stand by those who do so, whether Muslim or Christian, Jew or Hindu, poor or rich, as long as they stand for peace with dignity, just laws, and an order that aligns with the highest truths. The Prophet's teachings are for all of humanity, and we are commanded to be witnesses to the truth, even against ourselves. We cannot let the extremists on all sides divide and conquer the hearts of humanity. Ours is a hopeful species. We have survived countless wars, untold terrors, slavery, rape, and pillage, and yet we endure. Belief in God still dominates, and people continue to bring children into the world, an act of the greatest hope. Our Prophet, may peace and blessings be upon him, prayed for a certainty that made all the trials of this world insignificant. That is what we are working to cultivate in our hearts and the hearts of our students. Thank you for your support. May our Lord make it easy for all those suffering and make us instruments of peace and prosperity. May God bring peace and security to our brothers and sisters and the children of Gaza, with prayers and gratitude. Hamza, Yusuf, President, Zaytuna College.